Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the audio for this week's lesson, which is all about council housing, social housing in the UK. All right, so I'm going to read the essay, and it's something you can shadow with, something you can practice with. You can print it off, underline the grammar you don't know. Okay, so here we are. Right. Deep breath. Council housing in the UK has played a pivotal role in shaping not only the country's landscape but also its social structure, serving as a testament to the nation's evolving approach to public welfare and housing policies. The concept of council housing or social housing provided by local authorities emerged from the need to address the squalid living conditions of the urban poor in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The origins of council housing can be traced back to the Housing of the Working Classes Act of 1892, which marked the first significant step towards government involvement in housing provision. However, it was the aftermath of World War I that truly catalyzed the development of council housing, with the government recognizing the need to provide homes fit for heroes as a reward for the sacrifices made during the war. The interwar period saw a surge in council housing construction, characterized by the creation of large estates and garden cities, which aimed to offer a healthier living environment away from the crowded inner cities. This period also marked a shift towards a more paternalistic approach to housing, with local councils taking on the role of landlords responsible for the maintenance and management of these estates. Post-World War II, the need for housing became even more acute, leading to an unprecedented expansion of council housing. The 1946 New Towns Act and the 1949 Housing Act provided the legislative framework for this expansion, facilitating the construction of new towns and the clearance of slums. During this golden age of council housing, the focus was not only on quantity but also on quality, with many estates featuring innovative design and layout. However, the latter half of the 20th century saw a shift in the government's approach to council housing. The introduction of the Right to Buy scheme in 1980 allowed tenants to purchase their homes at discounted rates, leading to a significant reduction in the council housing stock. This policy reflected a broader ideological shift towards a market-driven approach to housing and a retreat from state intervention. Today, council housing faces numerous challenges, including high demand, limited supply, and the stigmatization of estates as sites of social deprivation. Despite these challenges, council housing remains a critical component of the UK's housing landscape, providing affordable homes to those in need and contributing to the diversity of housing options. In the northern part of the UK, council houses make up 90% of available accommodation in many towns and villages. The evolution of council housing in the UK reflects broader social and economic shifts, highlighting the complex interplay between government policy, societal needs, and architectural trends. As the UK continues to grapple with housing affordability and quality, the history and future of council housing remain subjects of vital importance, offering lessons on the role of the state in ensuring the well-being of its citizens through adequate housing. In conclusion, council housing in the UK stands as a monument to the country's commitment to social welfare, despite the changing tides of political and economic thoughts. It underscores the necessity of affordable housing as a cornerstone of a healthy, functioning society, and the ongoing debate surrounding it underscores the complexities of balancing public good with market forces. As we look to the future, the legacy and lessons of council housing will undoubtedly continue to influence the discourse on how best to provide for those in need, ensuring that the basic human right to adequate shelter is accessible to all. And there we are. That's the audio for this week's essay. I just wanted to tell you that generally in the north, which always was much more industrial, we have whole towns and villages which are nothing more than council estates. So if you go there, you have no choice except to live in a council place or rent from a landlord who's maybe bought a council place. In the south, council estates, council places aren't usually very nice. It depends where you are, but they're known for having some problems. But in the north, considering that it's all there is, at least up to 90%, it really depends. I think there's good areas and bad areas. The council are actually still building council houses, and whenever Labour, our opposition party, get into power, they always build more because they realise there's a need. I think in the future, though, things will be changing, especially since many local governments around the UK are going bankrupt. And one way to get quick money, of course, would be to sell their council house stock to a private housing farm, or create a new company to administer those. That probably would help them financially. So I think in the future, we can probably see where this is going. But there are still many people around in the north who aren't empowered. You know, their grandparents worked in the local factory, a house was built for them and given to them. So the families continue to live in the same streets, in the same area, sometimes even in the same house 2 generations later. The government, I think, in the last 10, 20 years has stopped this idea that council houses can be inherited, still rented, but inherited by different generations. Oh, that was my mother's house, can I please live there? They've put a stop to that. But yeah, council housing is a big thing in the north, and well, it's okay. But in the south, it sits alongside very affluent housing, and a lot of people are judging council estates to see how bad they are, and they were bad. And here, I think where I am, I think about maybe 70%, 60% is owned by the council, but there's also private housing associations. Not so many people buy their houses here. But looking around, I can see that there are definitely problems, but the government's done a lot to really get rid of problematic places. I think the law forced them to act, and no doubt they will be changing again. That's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into council housing. See you all soon. Take care. Bye.